Let's jump straight into it here on the Bitcoin Treasury Tracker chat we have here on bitcoinmagazinepro.com to kick off our first video of 2026. Very exciting indeed. Very excited for what the year has to offer, not just for Bitcoin, but for other assets as well. Now, I know this might be blasphemy to some of you, but I think this year I'm going to be looking a little bit more at alternate assets to invest in, and not just treasury companies. A lot more than that. If we go over to TradingView here, we're just going to dive straight into things. I've been working quite hard on how we can better optimize our portfolio, not just for USD gains, but with always the intention of accumulating significantly more Bitcoin. Now, what you can see on the chart here is the returns of 5 different assets. This orange, red, blue, white, and purple line. But this green line here are the returns of a portfolio actively being managed and weighted across different assets. Now, this orange line here is MicroStrategy, which since 2019, if I just open this up, has performed quite well, but recently, not so well. So at this point, we probably want to rotate out of speculative treasury companies and rotate into other assets. Now I'm going to get into what those assets are in just a second. What we can do is, if we just look very quickly at one of the things that will be included today, which is CEF, Spot Physical Gold and Silver Trust Units. What we can see is, of course, it's been on a bit of a tear for a little while now. Gold and silver have been doing exceptionally well, and this ETF has been making new all-time highs, which has been great. We can see throughout 2025, it's made about 100% gains to the upside, or it made 100% gains to the upside. Spoiler, I'm filming this in 2025. I'll get onto why in a little bit. But what we can do is, if we can strategically kind of allocate and put ourselves into these assets, which at times may actually outperform Bitcoin, then it allows us to rotate back in to accumulate even more BTC. If I can get there, BTC USD divided by CF. So rather than looking at Bitcoin priced in dirty, diminishing US dollars, which anyone can outperform, if we look at Bitcoin measured in a gold and silver ETF, we can see we're significantly beneath the highs we set in 2021. And if we look to where the all-time high was in this cycle, it was actually in December of 2024, and we can see that Bitcoin is currently down, as I film this, nearly 60%. So on the USD chart, it doesn't look quite as severe as this. On the chart measured against other strong, desirable, hard investing assets, Bitcoin's been doing actually a lot worse than this. We didn't set an all-time high in 2025, and it's been a pretty brutal bear market in terms of comparative purchasing power. But like I said, if we look at what we may be looking at, what I'm excited for when it comes to different industries and markets, we just scroll down here. This is from 2019 because one of them, this red one here, Qtum, is a quantum computing ETF, which for me is a very, very interesting field of study. I don't think anyone truly understands it, but at the very least, it can act as a hedge against our Bitcoin positions. If quantum computing can crack elliptical curve cryptography, then maybe a fair amount of Bitcoin is going to be at risk. So why not hedge it to the downside by looking at potentially rotating into a small amount of quantum computing stock, which has done exceptionally well. Now, there are times, of course, when Bitcoin is doing much better than quantum computing stocks. We can see here that throughout most of the past few years, this has been very much to the upside. But again, similar to the trend that we saw in the silver versus gold ratio, we actually made the high in November of 2024 and are significantly beneath the highs we set in 2021. And that double peak cycle doesn't look so double peak when you're looking at assets that massively outperformed assets depreciating currencies like the US dollar. And like I said, this only goes back to 2019, so we can't test too much further back than that. But quantum computing, very excited for that. Silver and gold, very excited for that. Slightly left field pick, uranium. I don't think I actually got this up, but uranium has been doing some pretty impressive things. France, if I can find the right news article that I want to reference, throughout the month of December, I believe, made energy free. Can you even fathom that in most Western countries, the fact that electricity just became free? Was that fake news? Maybe. I don't know. If it's my agenda, so I'll stick with it. Nuclear power, I think, is going to be on a massive trajectory to the upside. We can already see this is on a logarithmic scale. If we turn it down and look for the gains that uranium, spot uranium, has made since the start of 2020, at one point it was around 450%. Now it is down slightly since then. But again, if we look to BTC USD in uranium, it's been very much to the downside. And look at this double peak cycle. It was very clearly a dead cat bounce when measured against other assets. And since then, it was a brutal bear market. And in terms of the retracement we've had since the high that we've already set in this cycle, which was actually in April of 2025, again, down about 60% in just a few months' time. So if we look at assets that can outperform other assets, not just comparing them versus diminishing fiat currencies, but against appreciating assets, then it massively increases the potential that we can accumulate more discounted BTC. So looking at something like this, which is looking at the comparative strength, Sharpe ratios, risk-adjusted returns of these assets, I also included the NASDAQ, although AI stocks, tech companies, I think maybe slightly overextended to the upside. Likewise with precious metals such as silver and gold. One thing I'll also be looking at is something like the Crosby ratio. I'm just looking for technical factors as to maybe pointing towards if we're overextended to the upside. So if I look at the QQQ, I can see that we're looking at the Fibonacci extension levels have recently bounced from a major level of support, but we have made a slightly lower high. So at that point, I might look to the QQQ and say, do I want to be in precious metals or tech stocks? Well, precious metals are massively outpacing, but at the same time, we can see that we're currently in this massively overextended to the upside area. So it wouldn't surprise me to have a little bit of a retracement at that point in time. All of this is quite speculative and theoretical. I'm not going to come here and say I'm going to be diverging part of my capital into exactly this, 10% into exactly that. For a start, 80+% of my portfolio will continue to be Bitcoin. It always will be. The goal is to accumulate more Bitcoin. But if I can strategically weight a portfolio of around 10 to 20% of my cash, and as well as that have some cash sidelined to strategically dollar cost average into Bitcoin when the time points towards that being most beneficial to do so, then I'm going to be doing that. And by approaching the market in this regard, like I said, there may be opportunities to accumulate significantly more Bitcoin, but also act as a hedge to the downside. If we continue to see Bitcoin diverge and underperform precious metals, potentially if gold and silver become tokenized assets and the allure of cryptocurrencies diminishes to some extent, probably worth having a little bit of a backup in that instance. But again, for me, uranium, quantum computing are going to be the two major areas I'm looking towards outside of just Bitcoin. And as we can see, there are periods of time where we can rotate into these assets to strategically accumulate more Bitcoin. And that's going to be exactly my intention. I'm not going to go into specific stocks or anything like that. I like to keep it easy. I'm looking at ETFs, indexes, funds. I'm trying to keep this as simple as possible. I don't want to hold 50 different assets. I'd rather hold 2 or 3 different assets that give me exposure to the broader market. And if we can start doing analysis on these types of charts and metrics, not only does it help us better understand where Bitcoin may be in its market cycle by looking at its true purchasing power as opposed to its value versus a diminishing fiat currency, but it gives us the opportunity to potentially further accumulate more Bitcoin as we can rotate into those things that are potentially massively outperforming. So just to summarize, for 2026 and beyond, I'm going to be expanding my horizons into more alternate markets. So don't hate me, I'm still very, very much majority and always will be holding Bitcoin. But as we can see in Bitcoin, there's times when it may be advantageous to be strategically accumulating or distributing a little bit more, or at least rotating into different assets. And if we can identify what those assets may be to increase our relative purchasing power and risk-adjusted returns, then we can scale back into Bitcoin more aggressively to increase our stack. So the goal isn't to make more Bitcoin. The goal is to make more Bitcoin, not more US dollars. And I'm most bullish on quantum stocks and uranium, especially given the fact that quantum stocks almost acts as a bit of a downside hedge if we are to see this Q day happening in the next few months, years, whenever it may be, decades away. At the very least, having exposure to something that almost might be a direct competitor against the future of Bitcoin gives us almost that uncorrelated diversification. And while I do believe hard assets like Bitcoin and precious metals aren't going to have a terrible 2026, we can see that especially gold and silver look like they've maybe ran too high too fast, so a little bit of a cool off maybe on the cards. And Bitcoin, again, it's not looking amazing at the minute. Again, I have done this a little bit in advance, so hopefully by the time 2026 rolls around, we are at $150,000 looking great. But it is what it is. We've covered Bitcoin fairly extensively and I will continue to do so. And tech stocks as well, I included the QQQ, the NASDAQ there. I think we'll do well as well, again, depending more so on the macroeconomic conditions than the other things that we've discussed today. But I do think that AI is slightly overhyped, data centers, etc. maybe been the talk of the town for the last year, and I think there's going to be a slightly different topic of conversation within traditional market investing. But the reason why this content was a little different than usual is because I've had to film this in advance, because the content over the next few weeks is going to be changing. It's not going to be me going anywhere or doing anything drastically different, but pretty exciting is I'm actually getting married, going on my honeymoon, doing all that good stuff. So I've been working incredibly hard over the past few months to create something I'm really, really proud of, a docuseries. I'm not going to give too many spoilers away, but it'll be coming out in just a few days with some amazing guests, some amazing content. And I think it's going to be a very, very important series, not just for our channel, but for the broader Bitcoin community. So stay tuned for that and the weeks that follow that. I'm not going to be around quite as much over the coming weeks, but I will be thinking of you. Of course, on my honeymoon, I'll be thinking about all the lovely comments you all leave me. But as always, thank you all very much for watching. Leave your comments and likes down below. Let me know your thoughts on what other markets you'll be looking to potentially diversify into to supplement your Bitcoin positions. And as always, thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you at some point in the future.